Wait, what? I got an achievement for complete the game on hard difficulty. I played this on normal. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I played this on hard. Okay. Okay. I'm confused. I now have questions about what that means. Okay. Oh man, that's cool. So we saved Alice. We wrote Alice back into existence, but like he brought up, everything needs to be in balance. So it's a matter of like what was the balance now that he struck between. Also, we're 30 minutes into this episode. I should have just kept going. So what was his sacrifice? I'm assuming there was a sacrifice. He did not come back up. Hey, there's Sam Lake. Did not come back up with Alice. Alice is now essentially safe. And what we saw at the end there was Rose and Agent, what was it, Nightingale? The FBI agent, like watching behind Rose. Both of them really uneasy feeling. And then he says it's not a lake, or Alan says it's not a lake, it's an ocean. What does that mean? We might find out some of it in American Nightmare, but I am now curious if this then ties into what would be in Alan Wake 2, or if it would tie into what we'll be playing here in just a bit with American Nightmare. Regardless, the thoughts. What do I feel about the game? I thought it was good. Like I was really not. I don't want to say not looking forward to it, but the game never struck me in any way. To me, it just looked like another like Resident Evil style game where it's just a different form of combat. So like instead of having very little ammo or whatever, you have to then worry about having light. Light is the big thing with that this game consists of. So blow away the darkness that's protecting all the enemies, and then you can kill them. Same thing with the inanimate objects. I 100% missed a lot of the because it looks like for the manuscripts in that last chapter, it looks like it's going quite a ways. And I've only got like 5 of them, but I got it like 5 in a row, so there must have been a bunch of hidden ones. But like I've brought up before, I really like the fact that I love the manuscript mechanic, because with that, it gives you some extra clarification about things that have happened, and it can also like key you in on things that are about to happen in the future. And that moment when you realize that it's talking about things in the future, that is a really cool moment of just like, oh, I see what's going on. Like I brought up numerous times in the playthrough, the controls for this version are wonky. They ended up working in the end after I switched around run and jump, because the fact that like it made sense. Oh, the fact that dodge and run were on the same key made it a lot harder for me to dodge with left shift. So that's why I swapped him to space, because I was using dodge a lot more than I was using jump. But yeah, the other than like some of the weird aged mechanics that are on here and the fact that it is a PC port, this was originally meant for consoles, it was still very good. I was enthralled with the story. And even just the whole premise of it being that you are essentially you're writing a story, you realize what's going on, you write yourself into the story in order for you to be able to control things that are happening. And then the whole thing is at the end, you have to then write the ending. Because that has yet to be determined. And I think that whole concept is really cool. Everything with Alan Wake talking to himself as like the narrator is really cool to get that extra information to the player of like, I look down the path and I see the darkness. What was I to do? Or like something along those lines. And he's like, oh, okay. So look down the path. There's a bunch of darkness down there. Like, maybe I have to do something with the light. Like, some of the things are more obvious than others. But the birds, probably the most annoying. Then there were, I said it before too. I don't know if it was this episode or the last one, where I brought up that I was not a fan of how they spawned the enemies in. I'm fine with them kind of like coming out of nowhere because it is the darkness. Like the logic there makes sense. But what I didn't like was that I'd be looking forward, or like even if they came from the side and it does that whole camera shift to show you where they're coming from. And then I'd be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. And then I get hit from behind. It's like, that's just frustrating as a player. Because it's like you want to focus on the 3 or 4 people that are in front of you. And then when you get hit from behind, it's like, okay, now what? Now it's like the run away and like turn around and try and like get them all in front of you. Or you pop a flare in order to try and get them all away in order to regroup, which I think maybe that was the whole point. It's just frustrating. I never liked feeling like that. I don't like, there's a lot of information that I think is still missing, which again, probably the point. Like, why is Thomas Zane such an integral part of the story? Apart from the fact that it's, if I'm understanding this correctly, apart from the fact that he tried to do what Alan Wake is doing and failed. And then Barbara ended up taking the darkness took the form of Barbara. But the other part is like, again, why is he so integral? Like, why is he part of Alan's story? Why is the clicker given basically by Thomas Zane, even though the clicker was something that Alan got as a kid? It's like there's some logic loopholes that I'm not able to wrap my head around yet. Maybe I'm gonna have to go through and after I'm done with playing this and streaming, maybe I go through and watch maybe an explained version of it, see if there was stuff that I missed. But for a game that I cared nothing about when it came out, when the remaster came out, and just like I never did. The moment that the like I knew of the music because I came across Poets of the Fall. Then I found out that they were part of Alan Wake, as Old Gods of Asgard, and listening to the music, I was like, okay, this shit's good. I'm really happy about this. But that was like the only thing I really cared about. And in that case, I could just listen to Poets of the Fall or Old Gods of Asgard. But now after seeing them perform at the Game Awards, and how much I was entertained by I was confused. Because again, to me, I'm like, this is a horror game. Why is this a thing? So it caused me to look a little bit into it. Or like I wanted to go find that music, saw there was a music video, which is all based on Alan Wake. Then I found out the part of the game that it's in, which I'm so upset of, although I can't really be. I'm upset that I saw what the scene in the game is for Alan Wake 2. Because I would love to have came across that and had a genuine reaction. Because it would have been really good. But on the flip side of that, had I not seen that, I probably wouldn't have shown any interest in Alan Wake still. So, but regardless, that became the best marketing thing for me in order to get to play Alan Wake. And you know what? I am happy I did. Again, with everything that I've complained about, a lot of it can be written off as it is an old game. And not to mention the fact that this is not the remastered version. This is like the original PC port. So the gameplay is definitely up-resed, but boy, can you see it in the cutscenes. I don't know if the remaster plays any better. From what I saw on Reddit, it's really buggy in comparison, and a lot of people were saying play the original, don't play the remaster. So I played the right one, I guess, in the end. But yeah, it's a bit of a mindfuck of a game. It is, but it's enough of a mindfuck to not like push you away, but instead be like to kind of draw you in. And it is just the right enough of silly for me to be able to, again, keep me like kept into it and paying attention. Like, for example, right at the very beginning, I was like, all right, cool. This kind of feels a little Silent Hill. And then you walk into the diner and you meet up with the old gods in the diner. And you see, trying to also see here if there's anyone who I recognize. But then, yeah, you see them and they're like, oh, like play a song on the jukebox. And then you put the lime in the coconut. And it's like, okay, this is a little silly. I'm okay with it, but it's a little silly. And then you get even further, and it is, so this, Ilkavili, is the guy who is basically Alan Wake. The base game is over. Yes. But then we get to that fight, and I was looking forward to it, even though I've never seen it. The fact that we were going to the old gods. No, we're doing the DLC for this. We're doing Alan Wake American Nightmare. But then we get to that, and I was like, this is what I was hoping for. Like, seeing the scene from Alan Wake 2, I was like, this is what I was expecting out of here. And I am very happy that that exact scene happened. But once again, kind of serious, kind of dark, kind of creepy. And then you have that rock show. And I was like, okay, we're back. I was already into it at the time, but like I was kind of getting, with the combat. But like, hell yeah. The rest of it, oh, we're great. Poet of the Muse, performed by the Old Gods of Asgard. Children of the Elder God, performed by Old Gods of Asgard. Coconut was the put the lime in the coconut. Roy Orbison, you. Because of that song, I got copyright claimed. Yeah, it's a game that I am surprised took me this long to realize how good it is. Every time I watched somebody play it, whether it be on YouTube or on Twitch, I always was just, there's War by Poets of the Fall. I was always seeing it when they were running through the woods, and I was like, cool, just seems like another, like I said, another scary game, kind of not zombie survival, but a horror survival game set in the Pacific Northwest that involves light. But it was a unique it was a unique concept, but it never really drew me in because of that. But now Alan Wake's journey through the night will continue. Oh boy. I don't know if that's referring to Alan Wake 2 or the DLC. But I'm glad it all happened. Even if it took me this long to get here, I am glad I was able to play it, and I'm glad I was able to finally experience it.